You guys ever make a mistake, and while you're making the mistake, you're thinking to yourself, this is a mistake, and then you promptly go ahead and make the mistake anyway, even though you knew it was a mistake, but you didn't want it to be a mistake so badly that you made excuses for making the mistake. That's what this tree is right here. The tree itself is not the mistake. The mistake is where it's planted. You can see it's kind of close to the wall here. I have some pavers, and so the sun rises up over here in the summertime, comes over and just beats on this thing from sun up to sundown. All the rocks here collect heat. This wall here collects heat. Pavers collect heat, and it all radiates onto this tree. And so this is a peach tree. It's a Eva's Pride peach, and I love the peaches. It's delicious, but this is not the best place for it. I planted it here because this is where I wanted it, but this is not the best place for it. It needs a little bit of protection from the sun. It just gets too hot here, and so this thing has yellow leaves throughout most of the summertime. I've shown videos of that in the past. So what I want to do is I want to transplant it. And you can see it's kind of a mature tree. It's probably about 8.5, 9 feet tall, something like that at the peak. So I'm going to dig that out down here. I'm going to go out about 3 feet and get as much of the root ball as I can. And then I'm going to move it over here. And I'll show you this spot over here is much better. Right here. So right now I have an eggplant here that's volunteered and has done very well, and I hate to take it out, but I want this peach tree right here so that in the morning, as this mulberry tree wakes up, this thing's gonna wake up and it's gonna grow up about 15 feet every year. It's going to come out this way, and it's just going to provide some nice shade in the morning. Come out, protect its trunk during the day, in the early parts of the day, and then over here it'll get just a little bit more protection from this plum tree. So I want to dig this out and plant it right here, so you can see this unfortunately is going to have to go in this exercise. So I watered the tree yesterday in hopes of kind of softening the ground up, and I got to get this done because we're getting towards mid-January, and this thing's gonna wake up soon. And as I look up here, it looks like it's ready to wake up, so I gotta get this done. So that's my project this weekend, is to get this transferred. So I'm going to dig it up. First I'm going to dig the hole over there, and then I'm going to dig this up and move it over and do as little disruption as possible. Then I'm going to have to trim back. Now we'll see how much I end up trimming, but I like the structure of this tree, so I'm not going to do too much, but I'll probably do about I'd say 25% or so. So that's my task for right now. So I'm going to pull the mulch back and start digging, getting this guy ready to move. Check it out as I pull the mulch back. I don't know if that's showing up on the camera very well, but I've got about 6-inch layer of mulch, and it's just so satisfying to peel back the top layer and just see everything decomposing and just making some terrific soil in this area. So the next tree that comes in here, should be nice and happy. So I'm pulling the mulch back, and then I've got the hole started over here. So there it is. That's where it's going to go. So still working on it here. I'll check back in a little bit with another update. As I was trimming, I noticed this little guy. I love this time of year when you start seeing these guys come out and they're young. You can see they're healthy. He's been snacking on something in this tree, but I get a lot of these praying mantis in the yard. Hopefully he'll get real big and he'll be hunting a lot of nasty critters in my yard, but I love seeing them. Check it out, another little surprise. I was butchering that eggplant. I found 6 of them in there, ready to go, so I'm gonna be eating eggplant soon. Alright guys, progress report time. Check it out. Got that hole ready. Starting to get a little bit dark, so I'm going to call it a night because once I start transplanting, I got to finish and I don't want to be doing it in the dark. But I found another surprise here. Not only did I get 6 eggplants to munch on, but I also found out that there's actually 2 eggplants there. So I pulled this one out, and I'm going to leave this one in because I was actually going to plant one in this exact spot, because over here, off this way, kind of over there, is where the sun sets. So this eggplant's in a perfect spot to kind of shade the trunk of the peach tree, just to kind of help it out a little bit more. So another note on this spot. So if you notice, I have my trees planted pretty close together, and I don't mind. It just means that I've got to prune them a little bit more, right? And keep them confined to the space that I have allotted for them. But here's a darker side of that, and that's that, you know, this mulberry tree here is invading this space, and anywhere you look here, you've got mulberry roots just coming over here and kind of sucking up nutrients from the spot where the peach tree is going to be. And so while you know, when you plant your trees close together, you may not mind keeping them pruned and confined into the area, but it's easy to control the above ground environment, but it's much tougher to control what's going on in that hole. And I'm just bringing that up because I plant my trees close together. I'm going to continue to plant them close together, but you're going to have that competition underground that's harder to control. So I got this thing pretty much ready. I pruned it up, got the mulch pulled back, so tomorrow I just need to start digging in and then transplant it. And I may do a little bit more pruning once I get it in its spot and kind of see how it looks over there. But anyway, that's the progress report for day 1. I will check back in tomorrow. Alright, just a quick update on the progress here. You can see I'm kind of digging it out, and it's slowly coming, and trying to be as gentle as possible with these roots as I go around. So I'm doing a lot of this by hand, digging it out, but I'm gonna keep going because I got a ways to go yet. Alright, look what I found here. As I was kind of digging, this is below the soil line. Soil line's up here, and they have a green band tied around this thing, so that was going to be a problem. As this tree matures, it's probably already kind of cutting off some of the nutrient flow, so I'm kind of glad that I'm finding this. May have been part of my problem here, but I'm going to get that clipped off so that this tree can breathe a little bit. Okay, got it out. So pull it over here. You can see I got it kind of resting in the new hole. Take a look at my tree mover here. The big monster tires. These things are nice. I bought this because I'm probably, I'd say 40% redneck, and I wanted the big tires. But the other 60% is to haul these pots around my yard. I can bring stuff in when it gets too cold and too hot and etc. So you can see it's kind of sticking up a little bit high. But so I'm going to start working on getting this hole sized properly. and get it situated the way I want it. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more digging here, and I'll check back in a little bit. Okay, so if you look over here now, I got it set up kind of where I'm gonna have it, and you'll notice it's closer to the mulberry than it is to the plum tree. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure I always have a pathway to get through here. So I know for sure that this mulberry tree is going to be growing into that, and I'm going to have to prune it probably a couple times over the summer. But at least then I still have an access point to get through here. These two aren't going to be growing into each other so much. So if I put it a little closer to the mulberry tree, it won't be as symmetrical as you would probably want it to be, but it's going to be more functional as far as just kind of getting around my yard. So that's what I'm doing. Kind of see where it's going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and check back in a little bit. Okay, so I got it. I got the dirt shook down into the roots the best I could. I just kind of rocked the tree back and forth while I was kind of jimmying the dirt into the ground here. And now, very important that you water. You want to saturate this area really well. See if you can get all the air bubbles out, because there's certainly going to be air bubbles in a transplanting like this. So doing that now. I've got a bucket of mulch that I'll be throwing down on top of this, and then I'm probably going to water it every couple days this week. So I think I'm going to have to trim down a little bit more of this tree too, because I cut out more of the roots than I wanted to. And then I need to redo the trunk protection there, and then this thing will be good to go. Now I just got to come backfill this hole too. This looks like a big meteor crater. Look at this. It certainly looks a lot deeper than what I pulled out of there, but that's alright. Alright guys, it's been a couple days since I checked in. It's been raining, so I haven't been out here to wrap this video up, but got the tree planted here. You can see the eggplant there. Looks to be doing okay. And so far, if you look, this thing's starting to wake up. You can see the buds are swelling. Saw a couple of them here that look like they're about ready. So I got this thing transplanted just in time, and so this thing's gonna be loaded with flowers and starting to wake up here. And, I'll do an update video just to kind of show you how it's doing in a couple weeks when it's fully awake. But anyway, I just wanted to share that experience, because this should be a lesson for myself and others, that when you're planting your trees, make sure you plant your trees where the trees need to be planted rather than where you want them. So I'm expecting this tree is going to be much happier here. I think it's going to thrive and do great. It may take a year or two to bounce back from this transplant shock, but stay tuned and I'll keep you posted, and we can kind of see how this tree does. Thanks for watching.